Our guest of honor today is Sanjiv Goenka. He will be joining Team Etina for the bell ringing ceremony, and I think he is at the Bombay Stock Exchange, so we can capture his arrival there.
Yeah, indeed. He's with our colleagues Tanya Khosla as well as Neeraj Shah at the BSE to ring the gong, and let's only hope for a stable start as Sanjiv Goenka from CESC would be bringing the opening in. So, of course, stay tuned. Within minutes from now, we're also going to be getting you an exclusive chat with Sanjiv Goenka, chairman at CESC, and we're going to be discussing CESC's growth as well as expansion plans in just a short while from now. So stay tuned for that.
Now, let's capture some pictures from there, because Ashish has arrived, Sanjiv is already there, and I mean, it's always a great feeling, especially when you go back on the floor of Bombay Stock Exchange. It's the most iconic stock exchange in Asia. I mean, the floor there earlier was the trading floor. It was the Jijabai Tower, so to speak. So I'm sure every time, at least every time I go there, I get this feeling of nostalgia as well. 30 seconds to go, and it's not going to be a bad start, which is a welcome relief, so to speak. There is a bit of an apprehension, but there is no real large fear in the market. A lot of weak players, they've got weeded out yesterday. Today we start with a new we start a new series. So that little bit of uptick also could be there. And there you go, the bell ringing ceremony. Sanjiv Goenka with Neeraj Shah and Ashish Chauhan, CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange. So let's go to Sanjiv Goenka and Neeraj. And Neeraj, it's over to you at the Bombay Stock Exchange.
Well, thanks for that. Yes, the man of the moment, Sanjiv Goenka, ringing in the opening bell at the Bombay Stock Exchange, and now with us to talk about what's the outlook ahead for CESC. Good having you, Mr. Goenka. Thanks so much for joining in once again.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks. So, I think our viewers, shareholders would want to know what's your perspective of how the three businesses or the consolidated businesses moving forward, because it's an interesting mix of businesses right now that you have, and made interesting more so by the fact that power now is looking a lot more stable than IT because of all that's happening around the globe.
Yes, I think the power business actually is looking fairly good and fairly stable, as you said. CSC continues to do well. I think operationally we are doing well. The consumers are responding extremely well. We had two new investments. One was in Maharashtra, one was in Bengal. The plant in Bengal is doing extraordinarily well, and I think we would be ahead of our budgets this year. As far as our plant in Chandrapur is concerned, which has been plagued with issues, I think we are getting close to the end of those issues. So the one unit is now completely committed, and the second unit, I think we're almost close to finalizing an MOU for selling 200 megawatts of power. So I think then that will leave 70 megawatts, and at that level we should become profitable.
Wow. So you do, you using profitable, you actually stole my question. I was going to ask you if you expect significant reduction in losses over the next 12 months. I'm guessing you believe that.
Yeah, I think to get to profitability, you're probably looking at maybe somewhere in the 12 to 15-month or 18-month horizon. But I think the losses will start getting reduced in the next few months. For the first transaction, we've just, after we get the NOC from Power Grid, it takes 5 months for the power to flow. And so we're expecting the NOC today, and thereafter 5 months, and then that should get us pretty close to break even. And the moment we can start power flowing from the second unit, we should start getting to profitability.
Wow. Now, I don't want you to reveal something without giving it to the exchanges, but did I hear you say that you could be very close to signing an MOU as well? Is there a timeline that you have in mind for 200 megawatts?
Yes, I think it should happen soon, but I think we are very close to it at this point in time.
Okay, let's leave it at that. What kind of growth do you see in your distribution businesses? West Bengal, Rajasthan? I mean, I think in a manner of speaking, Rajasthan is a relatively new geography for you as well.
Yes, Rajasthan is completely new. It's now just exactly 4 weeks. So far, Kota is responding very well.
Okay.
And I think if the initial 4 weeks is an indicator, then I think we are ahead of our targets on that as well. But it's very early.
Right.
And Noida, of course, is doing remarkably well.
Okay. So that side of the business seems to be in a good spot. Just a word on capex here on, because everybody's talking about how India Inc. Private sector capex will come, when it will come. I mean, not from your end, but from India Inc. by and large. But one, where do you think that comes in on the economic cycle? And two, for you, what kind of capex have you lined up? How do you plan to fund it?
You know, I think the one thing that we are very clear is that we will reduce investments in government intervention intensive projects.
Okay.
So I think you will see a reduction of growth in the power generation segment. You will see an increase of investments in the distribution segment. And like we've taken the franchise for Rajasthan, in Rajasthan for Kota and Bharatpur, we will bid for other franchises as and when they come up. We do believe some more will come up in Rajasthan soon. We are looking at other states. We are ready with, we've actually studied all these geographies, and we are clear as to which franchises or which cities could make sense for us. So that is something that will be an area of growth. We also intend to expand in areas which are allied, but not necessarily specific to what we are doing at this point in time. We will be looking at, I think in the next, we're studying various options because cash flows will be very healthy over the next few years.
Right.
And as you know, in power, the biggest cash flows get spent on generation. So if we will spend maybe another, we'll invest for another 500 or 1,000 megawatts at this point in time. And beyond that, there will be free cash flows.
Right.
So we will be looking at investing them in areas that we know, in areas that we operate in, and in areas that we are confident that we can get returns.
But they'll be allied areas.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'm trying to think of whether CESC becomes a holding company for a bunch of other projects or other in businesses, if you will.
No, in fact, what we are actually also working on, and we will be looking at this very seriously, is how do we actually get away from this conglomerate structure.
Okay. Okay. Now, would that mean, am I reading between the lines, would that mean at some point of time listing Spencer as well? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's very much on the cards.
Okay.
It's not too far away.
So just to take the rumor out of the way, and there are two sets of rumors that I've consistently heard, you would have heard as well. One is that Spencer will get listed. Two is that CESC at some point of time will hive off Spencer. You veer on the former, which is listing Spencer at some point of time.
We will have Spencer's quoted publicly. Now, whether it means you demerge in a mirror image demerger, which is a possibility,
sure,
or whether it means that you list.
Right.
I think these are things that our advisors are working on right now.
Of course.
And I think before this year is out, we will actually have frozen on the path forward.
Great. And I'm